can you take me to the hospital, please? Hey guys, so I've been going live every day at 6 p.m. Pacific on YouNow, and I asked the chat, like, I will do whatever video you want because I skipped a couple weeks, and I'm like, just let me know what you guys want. And they chose a LushLaws fanfic reading, and I was like, okay, weird flex, but here we are. I think some people are just stuck in 2015. Like, I've literally been single since then because I have just not been able to find love. But yeah, so me and Nick don't actually talk. He's actually working for my old boss who screwed me over, and he used to, like, you know, pound drinks inside me and try to take advantage of me. But that is a story for a later time. That is like a whole different experience, but I will be doing a story time of that soon. So the #1 fanfic is called 50 Shades of Lush, a LushLaws fanfic, and it says the sex-crazed emotional experiences between Matthew Lush and Nick Laws, and it's got 263,000 views. I was told to start with chapter 2 because chapter 1 is just like a wedding and it's like some romantic BS, and this is where it gets like juicy. It literally starts off with, this is graphic, I'm warning you. Okay, chapter 2, after the wedding. Matt whispered into Nick's ear, "Are you sure you're ready?" Nick smiled, "Of course I am, I love you." Matt smirked as he caressed Nick's soft, pale face. Matt leaned down and placed a light kiss on Nick's forehead, rubbing a slow circle with his thumb onto his soft cheek, a pale blush rising over the pallid skin. Matt rubbed his thigh against Nick's growing erection. Oh my god, this is a dirty fanfic. Earning another moan from Nick. Matt's firm thigh rubbed Nick into full hardness. Twirling his finger into Matt's hair, Nick molded Matt's mouth to his own, rolling his tongue over his lover's, breathing quickly. Matt wanted to speak, but Nick pressed fingers onto Matt's lips, silencing him. Nick passionately pressed his lips onto Matt's. His hands roamed over Matt's back as Matt wrapped his arms around Nick's body. The intimacy of the act caused Matt to moan loudly into Nick's mouth before breaking the kiss and moving to nibble on Nick's ear. Nick gasped and he gripped the broad shoulders tighter, trying to force all space out between their bodies. His lips ground up Matt, his hips ground up Matt's, his free leg wrapping around the older man's hip. Not the older man. Oh, okay. Older man's hip, creating more friction. Nick bit his lips as he tilted his head back, giving Matt more access to his neck. Okay, I love necks. Matt lavished the small throat and collarbone with kisses. Nick hummed as he felt Matt's lips and tongue move over his body, across his chest, down his waist to place soft bites on his hip bone. Whoa. The older man's long fingers trailed down the pale skin, his touches setting Nick on fire. The young man's hip buckling up, seeking friction. I'm dead. Oh, Matt, Nick moaned. The young man's breathing was coming in short gasps, partly from the ministration and partly from the thrill of what's about to happen. Make me yours, please. Matt positioned himself between Nick's legs, one hand wrapped around the base of his lover's cock, stroking slowly while he spread the slender thighs further apart. A low growl left the older man's throat as his eyes puckered the pink virgin entrance. He was not a virgin when I met him, not even close. His own want, hard and twitching at the sight. Matt stoked his own aching need, using lube to coat his cock. He watched as his lover panted heavily, knowing that soon his pleasure would be replaced with pain for a short while. Oh my god, guys, I thought this was like dirty, but this is just straight up fucking filthy. Placing one hand on Nick's thigh, Matt position. I'm reading this and I cannot even speak. Matt positioned the large head in front of the lube entrance. Okay. Matt panted heavily at the feeling of Nick's walls gripping him so tightly. He wanted nothing more than to begin pounding into the hot space, but held back, trying to be as gentle as possible. When half his length was submerged, Matt took Nick's limp cock in one hand and began to pump it lowly, trying to replace some of the pain with pleasure. Nick moaned quickly from the combination of pleasure and pain and grit his teeth together until Matt was sharply sheathed, balls touching his ass. Nick screamed at the motion as the motion landed the head of Matt's cock straight into his spot. He eagerly rolled his hips down again, receiving the same intense jolt of pleasure. Matt moaned loudly at the feeling of the clenching muscles surrounding his dick. Ah! Nick shrieked again as he pounded down onto Matt, one of his lover's hands still fisting his weeping cock. The dual stimulation pushing him over the edge once more, and Nick bit into his lover's shoulder as he came, his cries muffled into the abused skin. Matt let Nick's body fall onto the bed while he gripped his slender hips, thrusting his cock rapidly in and out of his stretched hole. Fingertips dug in, sure to leave bruises the next day, and Matt's head fell back as sweat dripped from his forehead onto the sheets below. He landed onto the bed next to Nick and passionately kissed him. They were exhausted. Nick smiled. God, I love you so much. Matt smiled and kissed the wedding ring on Nick's finger. I love you too. They ended up falling into a deep sleep. To be continued. Okay, I feel like I need to read the next chapter because I'm like, whoa. Whoa. I forgot all about this. This shit got like level 10 real quick. Like I thought it was gonna be like a 4 or 5, like some cute romantic little story. But like we went full on pounding, like 0 to 100. And I'm just like, wow, I actually haven't had sex in like years. Like years. So I'm like, okay, here we are. Okay. Oh God, the next chapter is called A Severe Injury. It was the next day. Matt woke up to Nick. Maybe this one's more toned down because maybe it's like every other chapter. So like this might be good. It was the next day. Matt woke up to Nick ferociously shoving him, yelling, Matt, wake up. Matt, wake the fuck up. Matt rubbed his eyes. What? What's the matter? Matt looked to his left and turned on his phone. Nick, it's 7 a.m. What do you want? I don't know if I would say that. Nick looked like he was in terrible pain. Tears started to burst up in his eyes. He couldn't hold in the pain. Matt kissed the tears off of Nick's cheeks. Baby, tell me, what's wrong? Nick looked down, then looked up at Matt. Matt, this may sound really fucking stupid, but my ass hurts a lot. This may sound fucking stupid, but my ass hurts a lot. Nick giggled, but also shoved Matt. No, I'm not kidding. Can you take me to the hospital, please? Matt sighed. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's nothing bad. Matt picked Nick up because Nick had trouble walking. He got Nick and himself dressed and headed out of the car to drive Nick to the hospital. Later, in the hospital room, Matt sat down next to Nick. As Nick was lying down on the hospital bed, they saw the doctor walk in. Matt pulled the doctor towards him. So what happened? What's wrong with Nick? The doctor sighs. Well, Matthew, Nick was internally bleeding inside of his anus. He won't be able to physically walk for another 5 days. That's goals. That is goals. He's going to stay here in the hospital until he gets better. Nick was shocked and Matt started to cry. Are you kidding me? He got up and walked towards Nick and kissed him. This is all my fault. I can't believe I caused you this much physical pain. I never forgive myself. Literally the day after we got married. I'm so sorry. I love you. Nick smiled at Matt. It's fine. Last night was fun. I'll be in the hospital. It's only going to be 5 days. Don't worry about it. Matt hugged Nick tight, then looked back at the doctor. I'm going to be staying in here with Nick for the next 5 days. I'm not going to leave him alone. Matt hugged Nick tight, then looked back at the doctor. Wait, I just read that. I'm dead right now. The doctor was totally fine with it. Okay, I'll be checking up with Nick 2 times a day. And also, Nick won't be able to participate in any sexual intercourse until Nick leaves the hospital. Nick gasped. What? Oh, come on. Matt laughed. I'll be fine, babe. I'll be by your side the whole time, and I won't have sex with you until you feel better. Nick sighed. Okay, fine. The doctor left the room, leaving Matt and Nick alone. 5 days, Matt thought. We have to wait 5 days. This is not going to be easy. So not even gonna lie, I got a little thirsty after that one, so I'm like... But like, I know I said I was only gonna read like 1 or 2 chapters, but like, I just wanna know how this ends. Like, I think there's like a lot of parts to this, so I'm hoping that it like concludes like the last chapter. I'm just like really curious of like what's gonna happen next. Yeah, I can't wait this long. I knew it. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna end up going to the hospital and doing something bad and then he's gonna need surgery. Okay, it's been 4 long days and only 1 more day until Nick finally gets out of the hospital and get it on with Matt once again. Nick is still sleeping while Matt is sitting down watching his beloved husband snore like an ox. He giggles a bit. Nick finally woke up from hearing his loud snoring. I don't snore. He slowly lifted his head and looked up at Matt, laughing uncontrollably. He frowned. Oh, stop. I'm not the only one who snores this loud. Your snoring wakes me up. Your snoring wakes the whole fucking world up. Matt stops laughing. Okay, I guess you're right. Actually, we don't snore. Neither of us snored. Because, like, I don't think I could date someone that, like, snored really loud. Because, God, that's, like, a pet peeve. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, I can't sleep. And I need my beauty sleep. Because, I don't know, sleeping is, like, one of my favorite things to do. Nick rolled his eyes at Matt. So 1 more day until we go home and you get to fuck the living shit out of me again. Matt laughs. Yeah, but not so hard. I don't want to risk this shit happening again. Next time I won't go fully in. My dick is too big for you. Nick snorted. Ha! Yeah, right. I've seen bigger. Matt gasps. Oh shit. Nick, you did not just go there. Nick smiled. Oh yeah, I did. Matt walked over towards Nick and kissed his forehead. Just you wait, babe. I've got a lot more to show you other than my dick. I'm gonna rock your fucking world. Nick grabbed Matt's face and pressed his lips hardly against his, forcing his tongue deep inside his mouth. He just wanted to taste him again. Matt released and picked Nick up. Nick yelped. Matt, what are you doing? Matt smirked. Fuck this. I'm not waiting another day. I'm getting you out of here. We're going home. Nick smiled. My ass is feeling a lot better. Well, okay then. But don't speak so loudly. It's 11 p.m. and I'm sure that everyone else is sleeping. Matt walked out of the hospital room and started to head towards the door until one of the doctors walked up to them and said, "Where do you think you're going?" Matt looked back at the doctor and said, we're just going to get some food and we're not coming back. So, yeah, bye. He dashed towards the door and the doctor just stood there inside. The doctor didn't even try to stop him. Matt got in the car and pulled Nick down because Nick was sure that he was able to walk again. Nick sat in the passenger seat. Matt quickly pulled out of the driveway and started to head out on his way back to their apartment. 15 minutes later, they got into the apartment and ran into their bedroom. Matt threw himself and Nick on the bed and they held each other in a nice warm embrace for 5 minutes. Nick looked at Nick looked at Matt in the eye and said, "Matt, I need you." Matt looked back at Nick and kissed him. "God, Nick, I need you too right now. I can't go a day without making love to my beautiful husband." Nick smirked. Then what the fuck are you waiting for? Take off your clothes and make love to me. Okay, I'm gonna stop there because I feel like it's going to get really filthy again. But if you like up this I'm so used to you now. If you like up this video and want me to do it again, I might do this again and continue it. But if not, if we want LushLaws to die, I'm okay with that because honestly, LushLaws is already done. So yeah, I hope you like this video. I know it's weird. It's kind of weird that, the chat wanted me to do this. But like, hey, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I mean, obviously it's what people want to see, even though I thought we got over this. I thought we were over and done. Like, it's like, putting the nail in the coffin. Like, what is going on here? But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry that I haven't posted a video in a couple weeks. I've just been going live every day and I don't know. I've been a hot fucking mess. Like, honestly, like, it's just my life. But someday I will, I will post videos normally again. Yeah, and maybe I'll get a boyfriend because like I did a tarot card reading and they said that I was gonna get a boyfriend by May 5th or something. But if that doesn't come true, then I'm gonna start not believing in tarot cards because we all know what happened last time. Like a psychic told me my future, like none of that shit came true. So here we are. All right guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe because every time you don't subscribe, a gay baby turns straight. Do it for the gabies. I'll see you guys soon.